Hey everyone, this is Mark Matthews again. In this video, I want to go over some tips and tricks that I use when I run a gimbal to help you guys figure out different angles and understand what they look like in different trail scenarios. So I have the gimbal turned on right now, and typically the first thing I do when I have the gimbal put on my body is I want to decide what should the angle of the camera be. So to give you guys a side profile, when I'm running a relatively flat trail, it's better to have it higher than lower. And when I'm on a steeper trail, I want it lower. If you think about it this way, you're coming down a really steep incline and your camera's looking straight ahead, you're gonna kind of miss what's in front of you on the trail. So it's pretty tricky, especially when you have trails that go from flat to steep. You kind of have to make a compromise. So say I'm going into like a trail that's full of steep rock faces, rather than just using the level position, I'm probably gonna angle it down pretty far, like 45 degrees almost, from level with my body. So I'll have it like right here. So if you look at this video from Stick Rock and Kicking Horse, I pretty much had the camera angled just like this. So as you can see, that's pretty cool. You can see my handlebars in the entire trail, yet even when on those little uphill sections on the bridges, it's capturing everything pretty well. There's little segments of that clip where you can't look forward very far, but that's okay because 90% of that trail is a really, really steep downhill. And that never really translates to GoPro, but at least I can catch my handlebars in the entire moment. Now, for a more flat trail, like say you're on almost a level trail, like a pump track style trail, a nice mellower flow trail, I usually have it just below level. So this is level here. I'll angle it slightly down. So let's take a look at this trail from Hornby Island that I just shot last week. It was a nice mossy, beautiful forest, pretty flat. There was one steep section where you could kind of see my handlebars fade away, but since I had it angled at pretty much this exact same angle, I captured the rest of the trail really, really well. So let's take a look at that right now. One more thing to think about is if you have someone in front of you and you want to really zoom in on them, like say you want to go to just regular wide mode from super view or even linear mode, you really want to square in on them, and as soon as you tighten up that frame, the most ideal angle for you isn't going to be the most ideal angle for showing the rider in front. So in that scenario, it's best to just have it completely level, so it's looking straight ahead. You're not going to catch your handlebars in that frame, especially when you zoom in, but it's going to be worth it because you're really going to get that nice shot. Now there's some pretty crazy and creative stuff that you can do. I actually tried this thing last week when we were shooting a video for Hydro Flask. I wanted to get kind of that cable cam style look. So what we did is we actually mounted it onto our backs. Now it's going to be really hard to show you this by putting it on my back, but imagine this is strapped to my back right now. So I have it completely backwards, and in order to do that, I can't run it regularly because the bottom of the battery is just going to go into your back. So what you have to do is actually pull this off. So I'll pull it off for you guys here. And you want to put the gimbal on upside down. So I'll get this in upside down. It looks really ridiculous, especially when you make your buddies have to wear it and they're not stoked about it, but if you guys take turns on it, it's really cool. Like the shots you can get of yourself with someone in front of you is amazing. So I normally have it like this, but if you can angle it as far away from the person's back as possible, and then play around with the angles. It's really, really hard to get the angle dialed. Like this clip I'm about to show you right here took us about 3 tries to get it perfect. So let's take a look at that right now. So how awesome did that look? It had a pretty cool effect of me chasing the rider down the trail. There was a little bit of trail in front of me so you could kind of see what's coming, and that's what we were going for. So what did that look like from our end? Here we go. Imagine it's at a 45-degree angle, because that's basically where the gimbal sits on the rider's back when they're in their riding position. And see how the GoPro is perfectly low right now? Since this trail wasn't very steep, but I still want to show a bit of trail in front of me, I angled it slightly down like that. Now this was good for 90% of the shot, but if you guys noticed, on the steeper shoot, when it was going down like this, it cut out my head. And look what the camera's doing here when it's on your back. It's doing the exact opposite of when it's on your chest. When I'm going down a steeper hill, the camera naturally wants to point down when it's on my back. When it's on my chest and I'm going down a steeper hill, like say it's like this and I'm going down a steeper hill, I want to point the camera more down because the cameras naturally want to go up. So it's backwards. And you have to think about this not only when you're mixing up angles, but when you're in different riding situations. So if I'm riding a really steep trail and I know there's a flight or jump section coming up, and maybe there's a boring bit in between and you don't really want to do one long GoPro clip, then take a break, stop recording, readjust accordingly, and drop back in. So you're not just setting and forgetting. Remember, you want to adjust the angle accordingly to different situations. I hope that really helps you guys, and get out there and start playing around with it. And remember, you don't need a gimbal to do this. The gimbal definitely makes it a lot smoother and a lot better looking, but the GoPro Hero 7 is a pretty sick camera, and you can definitely get some really good stuff with it too. I personally don't have a lot of experience with the 7 yet, so I can't give it my 2 cents, but get out there, play around with it, and just remember those things that are involved with angles, and see you in the next video.